Good evening, everybody. Let me see here. You want to turn? Okay, that is on. Wow. Okay, and that. Okay, and what else do I want? What's the date today? It is this date. Yep. Okay, and comments. It's late. So we'll see who shows up because I didn't announce this to anybody except for one person. His name's Spirit. So, and you know how spirit flows? It can be anywhere, just like the wind. It can pop over here, over here. You never know where it's going to go. Tonight, I want to talk about, our how we do. We make our choices based on, our observations, and it's subjective. Based on our perceptions, based on our experiences, we make determinations and evaluations, and then we make choices. And also want to get into a little bit about empires and how empires will come up and why they fail. Because it gives you the illusion that you're making a choice or a determination, but how can one make a determination for the common good of all when they have not been observing or subjected or perceived or encountered the same type of situations to have the same type of outcome within their life in order to make certain choices over others? It's a fallacy, it's a mistake, because only each individual can make a choice for self. And of course, you guys know I bring it back to consciousness, choice, and why, freedom, sovereignty, and how important it is to know ourselves, have the conscious expansion, the awareness, self-awareness, and to make critical decisions, but at the same time be linked up to the divineness that you are, into a whole being, not super spiritual, not super carnal, but a nice balance in between. Conscious expansion, growing, gleaning from one another, and appreciating each other's personalities, perspectives, and the honor and it is to know each other and how we actually enhance each other's lives. The first thing I want to do here is I'm going to give you the illusion of choice. Okay, so I'm going to say, okay, this is my right hand. I don't know how it's showing up for you guys, but this is my right hand. This is my left hand. Okay, I want you to pick a hand because there's something in one of my hands, and I want you to make a choice right now. Right hand, left hand. Pick one, please. Like it says, there's three of you, so all three of you guys say either right hand or left hand, and I'll show you what you have chosen, and then we'll move on from there, and then do it a couple times. And see why the perception or the illusion of choice is a fallacy, and why empires rise and fall. Okay, so we got one for the right. That would be citizen not. Hey, citizen not, how are you doing? I will be putting the yard link in here shortly, because participation, share, grow is always important. Okay, so we've got 2 for the right hand. So we'll go with the right hand first, which is right hand. Okay, you get a penny. All right, now mix them up. Okay, again, you want the right hand or you want the left hand? Make a choice. And remember, there's always a third option. You can say both. So right hand, left hand, both hands, no hands. Remember, determination is in perception. It's all in our thought process. So let's pick again, right hand, left hand, and see what we come up with this time with our choices. Well, this time I'm going to give the big reveal, and so we can move on, because I think the point will be made on the illusion of, obviously I'm giving it away, the illusion of choice, giving us the choice, or giving us the illusion of choice, which ends up being number one, or is that an I? I. Okay, Michael Fontaine says the right hand again, and I guess this and not is saying I choose not to choose. Okay, right hand. This is right hand again. We got the penny, but check this out. If you would have chose the left hand, you would have had the same thing. Okay, there are two sides of the same thing. The illusion of choice. Republican, Democrat, right, left, blue, red, male, female, polar opposite, two sides of the coin. It ends up showing you that it's basically really not a choice. It's a selection, not an election. A lot of times I hear the term democracy. This country is not a democracy, it's a republic. There's a very huge difference between a democracy and a republic. A republic is not mob rules. A democracy is mob rules. Mob rule has showed to fail over and over and over. And the foundation of this country is based on a republic, and there's a reason for that. But as a republic, it's supposed to be represented by people who have been through different situations in order to be diverse enough in the governing body to cover a broad base of different types of lifestyles, experiences, and expansions in order to be able to meet the needs of each individual person. But what happens over time is power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So then the ones with the money are the ones that end up in the office, and then they are out of touch with the public. How can you make a determination on what would be fair for somebody that may be homeless when you yourself have never experienced such a tragedy in your life? You have no concept of what that person is going through, or what hardships, or what they're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. But you're to make legislation based upon what? What gnosis do you have? What experience, what perception, what observation is determining or pulling your choice on what you're saying about said people? Does it make them less of a human being because they fell into hard times? Absolutely not. Does it make them any less equal of a divine creator, brother, sister? Absolutely not. But are they represented by somebody that has no observation, experience, perception of such things that have went on in their life? No, they're not. And then therefore we have the rise, and then we have the fall of great dynasties. They fall of their own weight from the lack of communication and the lack of understanding and compassion for the people that they try to rule and reign over. So that's another thing we want to talk about. And my pit bull just got set off. Get him, Baxter. Get him. Get him out of here. Okay. So to rule and reign, should we have somebody rule and reign over us? Do we need people to rule and reign over us? Are we that out of hand that we don't know how to treat our brothers and sisters with respect and dignity? Are we savages? Do we need to have people rule and reign over us? It's enough to be able to get the sovereignty bestowed upon us to rule and reign with our power, because each of us are very powerful over self. And if we are wanting power to rule and reign over another, there's something wrong in between here. we should never, ever want to oppress, suppress, or silence, or trodden down, make laws, or govern over our brothers and sisters. Now, there are things that happen in confusion when people are oppressed or hurt. Hurt people hurt people. That's a saying, and there's a reason for it. When people are hurting, they will hurt other people. To get to the root cause of that hurt, we need to find out what happened. Where did this come from? How did this start? And then there is always a way to heal, mend, forget, forgive, and move forward, instead of making government, which I'm probably going to do a screen share on that. Government is governing the mind. Okay. So they're basically saying we don't have the ability to govern our own mind. So we have to have all this legislation and laws put above us because we are unable to govern our own mind. Really? Well, if you're sitting in a government office and you have no idea what it's like to be homeless, but you're making laws based on whether there should be a soup kitchen, or whether there should be shelters, or how to cut the budget, or things of that nature, and you've never ever dealt with that situation before, you don't have the right, because you don't have the gnosis, you don't have the experience to even have the perception or the compassion to even make such choices over other human beings. We should never ever forget that we are all human beings, and that respect is due for being human beings, powerful human beings. I don't care if you are homeless or if you're a fat cat with $1 million. I can almost guarantee you that homeless person is more due to power and they're more self-awareness of whom they are than the person that's a millionaire sitting in this mansion going off on yachts. They're too busy, philandering to even take the time to get to know themselves. Just that's an opinion from my own observations, my own perception. I want to make sure that I'm clear on that. So when we understand consciousness, we understand ourselves, we understand who we are in truth. We get the paradigm shift. We get the renewing of the mind. We then can actually be able to pull from a place where we can get a broader perspective, an idea, and wisdom from what is called the super consciousness. And if you guys notice, I've been going through consciousness, if you've been watching any of the videos, and the expansion and the brain map, and I have a couple premieres coming up. They ended up being a little longer. I broke it into 2 premieres. It's got a lot of information. I'll be around for. I'll probably go live after to do Q&A on it because of the understandings that I have been blessed with. I'm willing to share for anybody who's willing to want to know about it. And again, everything is by free will. Everything is by choice. If you want to pick it up, you can pick it up. If you don't, leave it, but I want to make sure that I'm available to answer questions if anybody has questions and things about that, because there's a lot of meat and potatoes in there, and getting to know ourselves and getting the power to rule and reign over ourselves, and the power that we all each hold within us. People only knew how amazing that we all are, and how much we all offer to one another, and how we could change this place that fast if we only have the self-knowledge of who we are in truth, instead of being spread so thin and having our power thrown in millions of different directions outside of ourselves, detracting us from knowing and holding it and utilizing it for the things that we would like to see. And that's the tomorrow, or the now moment, actually, that I pray for, daily. Let me put this link into the chat. And so anybody that wants to come in is more than welcome to come in and join the conversation. I wanted to just show the, let's see, copy the clipboard, and I think I just can just set it in here and paste in Okay. And yeah, because the illusion of choice and the detachment that happens over time in any kind of empire between the governing body and the people becomes more and more vast. And if you have no concept, and you do not know yourself, and you have not connected yourself back up, if you're not in balance, if you have not come into the conscious awareness of whom you are in truth, how in the heck can you ever make any kind of laws, judgments, determinations, boundaries, restrictions, budget cuts, haves, have nots, tax everybody who works, and spend it at your own leisure, and make judgment calls on those that you have no concept about whatsoever? You cannot do that. And I'm not a political activist. I'm not. But I'm just trying to point out hypocrisy. When I see hypocrisy, I'm going to point out hypocrisy. If I see danger, I'm going to point out danger. Like my pit bull, he's like, rah, 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 I think there's a cat out there. He's trying to get that cat down the road. But anyways, so when I see stuff like that, I question things, and it's like, like the video I did the other day about Dianetics. I don't like to make videos like that. I really don't. I'm upbeat. I like to, lift people up, because my gosh, everybody's so amazing and bring so much to life that it's phenomenal. But sometimes I'll come across something and it's like, oh, I get this red flag. And if you're leading people out of bondage, what the heck are you doing here? It's been a few years that I pop in and check it out, and it's like, okay, I'm going to lead you out of one cage, and now a cage with invisible bars. And now I've just put you in a cage that has metal bars. What the frick is going on? And the flags, I don't know if you guys watched it or not, but the flags that came up, being in BQH myself, I know that bringing people back fully consciously aware, which is going to be in that premiere about all of the different gates. And it's a parable in the Bible too, about the outer gate where the Gentiles, you get through the outer gate, and the inners where the Jewish people will be, and then you go into the inner sanctum, you're in the Holy Holies, and then in the very, very center, you're one-on-one with God Almighty. Well, it has to do with our actual consciousness. It has to do with the 5 gates of the 5 senses, and then it has to do with the subconscious, and then the 8 gates you go through there, and then the 7 gates that get you into the Holy of Holy section, and then there's 1 gate that gets you into back connected with God. Well, my problem with that I brought to your attention was, they did not bring the people. They would put them into a symbiotic state. They would put them into a suggestible state. They would keep them there for up to 24 hours. They would keep them in a trauma-based, if they were not passing, a certain thing with them. And these were hypnotherapists that were called auditors. And they would make them relive a trauma. They were not letting these people lay down and in a relaxed position. They were sitting upright, eyes closed, in a trance-like. And when they brought them back forward, they left them in the trance. They never brought them back to full awareness, leaving 5 gates open to allow mind manipulation and head games to pursue into people's subconscious. Your subconscious, you guys, that's your dunamis power right there. Whatever you look at, whatever you're interested in, your subconscious doesn't make judgments. It doesn't see good or evil. It doesn't look, think, or it doesn't have that kind of a process. Just, they're interested in that, and then it programs it in, and then it becomes something that will be a future experience or something that happens. Subconscious is the largest part of our mind. If you compare it to the consciousness, which is very narrow in scope, the subconscious is a huge part of our mind's capacity. But we've also learned there's the unconscious, which keeps us breathing, our heart beating, and things like that. But then we also have the superconsciousness, which is the connection to back to being able to glean from, and wisdom, getting questions answered, that people would say, oh, I went to my prayer closet and then in meditation I got the answers. Well, where did those answers come from? Well, they came from the super consciousness. So blocking the way for people to find these and discover these things within themselves, I think, is completely wrong. And so, if people are desiring it and wanting to find such things, I think they should have every right to be able to do that. So, and leaving people in a mind control type of a status, and then shouting them down and trying to trigger them, and then telling them that they failed if they reacted, but they're not giving them the option of free will to be able to walk away from that situation, mind you. They use shout down methods. And if you respond, they say, oh, you didn't pass. So, because you reacted. It's complete mind games. And using hypnotics and MK Ultra, we've heard about all this stuff in the past. Flicker rates on television. When you watch TV, you go into that the alpha state, which is light hypnosis. You get in that relaxed state. That's why advertisements work, things of that nature. It goes into your subconscious. Psychosomatically, you've got the symptoms and you're running to the doctor asking for said prescription. That's why this stuff works. But when we understand how our mind works ourselves, guess what that just did? Just empowered you to become sovereign and have your own authority and wield your power in the direction that you wish and you choose to put it, instead of having it kind of thrown every which direction through, the illusion of choice from observation, subjectivity, perspective, determination, based on a body of individuals who's had no said or such experience in the dynamics of another unique sovereign being's life. And that's why for me, it's really important for people to be self-aware and to understand who you are, so you can wield your power in the direction that is beneficial for you. You're number one. You're the leader of your life. You're the hero of your own story, and the divine is in you. And yes, we do talk about that over here too. So anybody that has been wondering where the heck I've been, there's another channel. If you saw the video with Pug Face Media singing the lyrics of the chat room, hilarious, you guys. There's a link in there for a channel called Spirit. Now, that guy power streams. I don't power stream. Sorry, can't do it. And I'm not even going to try to compete with that guy. No way, no how, not happening. They stayed on for 9 days straight. And then the other day they stayed on for, I'm thinking it was at least 2.5 days. I'm thinking. And then I woke up in the middle of the night last night to get a snack. And then I met up with another lady whom I met over there, and she was streaming, and I looked at how long she was streaming, and she was on for like 7 hours. So these people power stream. Okay. They are like diehard live streaming people. I consider a power stream when you guys keep me up for 4 hours, keep me on here for 4 hours. I'm like, oh, that is exhausting. I got nothing on these people. I'm going to tell you what, but, you might want to check it out, because they play song games, and, there's a lot of times that they are online, and it's open conversations. They talk about all kinds of different things. So if you're, looking for something to do, go check it out. I mean, it's pretty interesting, pretty good people. So far, everybody I've met over there is pretty nice, very open-minded individuals over there. And me, I wouldn't be over there if they weren't. And they're diverse, and I love that. I love that everybody carries their own personality, and is okay with showing their flair. Not oppressing another, but showing their flair, their style, their uniqueness, their individualness. So I should have pinned that. Did it go all the way? Hi, Buzzacino. No, it didn't. I'm going to go in there and pin that to the top, so give you guys a chance to come in and talk about the topic that we're talking about kind of goes along with not the video, not the warning video on Dianetics, but the one before that on consciousness. We're working on the alchemy of consciousness, the alchemy of energy. So, you can come on and talk about any of those things, any kind of phenomena going on with you, dreams, visions, paranormal, Mandela effects. You know how it flows here. It's open on, the stuff you can't or don't feel comfortable talking about other places. It's okay here because, yeah, I don't know if you can shock me anymore. I've seen so much. I don't know what to even say about it. Let's see, how do I pin that? Like that. And see, I've seen a spirit do it in there. I think I pinned it. Is it at the top of the chat now, you guys? Did that work? Did that work? Did it work? Did it work? Did it work? Yes, it worked. Yay! Okay, so now I better probably stay in StreamYard. So if anybody wants to come in. So I'm gonna have 2 premieres that are coming up. They run between 40 to 50 minutes each, and then after, see, they kind of run into each other. So I kind of like made one and then saw that it was going too long, so I kind of just went and I cut it. And so it really won't make sense until you see like the second one, because it's got part of the first one. It's kind of weird. And then we may do a live stream Q&A, but I think it's best to do those as a premiere so we can talk. You guys can say, what the heck are you talking about, Michelle? I don't understand what the heck you're talking about. So then I can be clearer, because I'm just one person, and I know when I put together this stuff that I try to put it together in the way that is understandable. But just because I can understand it doesn't mean that somebody else can understand it, and that defeats the purpose if I'm doing something and nobody else understands what the heck I'm talking about. You know what I mean? And it really helps to know if people are digesting the information, especially when it comes to the gates. The gates are in those premieres, the levels of consciousness, and what each level does, and actually some theologies in there. There's and also so many changes that are going on now, like with the elements, the odometer, how I remember 4 basic elements: earth, wind, fire, water. There's 10 now, you guys. Cat's out of the bag. Okay, there's 10 now. And there's just been so many changes in this realm that we inhabit that, it's just interesting to bring it forward and see who else knew that. I mean, how many other people had this in their awareness that all of this has morphed and changed into such things as this. So there's a lot of examples of those things that have changed, conceptually, physically, and in this realm in which we inhabit. I'm not going to call it flat or round. I'm not getting in that one. I'm not touching that hot potato, because I have never observed it from a perspective where I could say one way or another. I did have a weird dream while I'm waiting for you guys. Hi, inner knowing. Love. Jessica, how are you? Did I miss anybody? Fox Bear. Nevaeh, I think Nevaeh should come on here like right now, because she did that to me last night when I woke up just to get a snack. She's like, get up here with me. And I was like, just gonna eat my snack. And then she said, I think it was an act. I really do. I think it was a ploy. I think she plotted against me to make me come up on their stream last night, because when I got up there and I was showing, she's like, oh, yeah, I was like, I think she plotted against me. Hi, YOLO X, how are you? Namaste to you too, brother, sister. Wait, sister, right? Let's see, it's a tiger. So Could be either. It could be either. So, anyway, so jump on in. I'm going to tell you guys about this weird dream. Okay. And this has to do with why I will not make a determination on whether it's a realm or whether it's flat or round. Okay. This dream happened before I found out about that pink moon. And pink moon doesn't mean it's pink. It means that it's just the largest moon, it's closest to or whatever. So you get, beautiful images of it. Absolutely astounding. Dead GBK did a phenomenal job. El Coro did a phenomenal job. You probably don't know who El Coro is. I'm going to have to start listing some of these people, these new people, sky watchers and sunset sun evening sky watchers for my sky watcher friends who will enjoy his work because it's a different community, but it's diverse. It's really wonderful. Okay, back to the dream now. I'm asleep and I'm looking at this moon. Now, this was before this pink. I even knew about this pink moon thing, so I don't know why I was dreaming about the moon. You never know why. And I'm looking at this moon and I'm like, hey, it doesn't look like they use the chroma key very well, because I can see the black, the gray, box around it still. Like there was a green screen background like what I have here, and then they had the image on there, but when they hit the chroma key, it was like still grayed out. And I was like, what the heck is this? And then they had the moon was in the middle, and I was like, that is really weird. And then I was shown other pictures. I was shown pictures of, like a happy family, she's then on vacation or maybe on a holiday, like snapshots of people's life, just like a snap, And then what I heard was, there's a whole world going on around. Can you see to the left of them? Can you see to the right of them? Can you see what's above them? Can you see what's in front of them? Can you see anything that's going on anywhere else in that area that's going on with those people in that snapshot? And I said, no. And then that was when I heard, you're seeing what they're allowing you to see. It's a perception deception. People are deep. And when I woke up, and then I found out about the peak moon, I'm like, what the heck? What is this? The chroma key being off a little bit have to do with it. And I think the main message is, don't judge a book by its cover. Don't judge what's going on within somebody based on a perception that could be an absolute deception, because we can see one thing, whether, from a picture or an image, but there can be a lot going on in the family dynamics with heartbreak or, lack or anything can be going on in the background that is not perceived through that snapshot. And we will jump to, through perception, using subjectivity, and then we'll make a determination and a choice based on a snapshot, which is nothing. We don't have the right. I think it was more about, don't judge each other. We don't understand the dynamics that are going on behind the scenes of anybody at any time, because we're deep. People are complex, wonderfully, beautifully made. And we can have a gazillion things going on within our life, and that snapshot doesn't show any of it. People put their best foot forward because a lot of people mainly don't want people to feel sorry for them or make them, sidetrack them, or maybe some people are just private, and they just like to remain private. And we should respect that. But, I think the lesson that I was to learn, and you guys let me know what you think. I mean, I don't understand the moon part of it, and seeing that the chroma key wasn't right. Don't understand that one. But the snapshot one was pretty self-explanatory to me that, we don't know. We're not walking in that person's shoes. Even if they're our best friend, and maybe they're having relationship problems. We don't know what their heart wants. We don't. So we always should advise each other. We should counsel each other. We should comfort each other. But when we change our mind, we should still be there for each other because that's part of life. That's part of life, especially when it comes to matters of the heart. Oh, man, who knows what the heart wants, the heart wants, you know what I mean? So, hey, Spirit, how you doing? Fox Bear Buzzchino. Still here listening and appreciate you explaining the No, yeah, you suckered me to come on that stream. You know you did. I know you did that to me on purpose. On purpose. The chat is open. I have shared my dream. I am not a power streamer. I would love to have somebody come on and interject what their thoughts are on this topic. And again, like I said, it's open. If you want to talk about astral travel, you want to talk about has anybody else encountered that weird thing that's between here and getting out yet? I mean, still waiting to see if anybody else has been through that darn machine. I mean, sometimes I open my mouth and I feel like I stick my foot in it because I'll come across something and I'll just assume that everybody else has too. And then I'll feel like, oops, I feel stupid, Maybe that machine was there because maybe my tonality was so low that now I notice the machine. I mean, does it matter? No, not really, but it just showed up there in the middle of December, but I've noticed it since then. I mean, it doesn't stop me. I buzz right through it, and I have seen beings on this side not being able to get through it, and I've been grabbed by one. When I told it to let go of me, it had to let go. I used my own power and authority and said, you don't have the right to grab me. You don't have my permission, and you have to let go. And it had to let go, and it did. It did let go, and I went right through it. So, so in other words, everything and anything that you want to share is good here. You're not going to shock me. You're not going to shock me. Zola, it says, the color pink is a representation of love and acceptance. Maybe you're encountering with the emotions. That moon is called the pink moon, and I heard about that the next day, and it has to do with I had the dream right before I heard about the pink moon. That's what I thought was really strange about it, that the moon was in the dream, and it just didn't use their. Anybody that uses OBS knows what the chroma key is to use for your green screen. You blend, and you want to get it so it's not pixelating, and that it matches up into the background you're trying to put it with without having a freaking gray box around it. But this moon had a gray box around it. It's really obvious that it did not belong in the background that it was put on, because they didn't do a good job with even Photoshop. If you use Photoshop and you don't trim it out just right, it's not going to look right. You'll have residual there, and people will be able to see that it's an overlay on top of another image, and that's basically what that showed. But yeah, that was weird. But the pink moon is a moon that is closest to us. I think that it's just called a pink moon in the Farmer's Almanac because it's so close to us. And like I was saying, that El Coro, and Dead GBK got some great images of it too. But El Coro does it right on the water, and that moon was so close, and he did it at, I think, sunset or sunrise, probably both, knowing him. And not sunset and sunrise, moonset and moonrise, and it hits the water, and the reflection off the water is just gorgeous. It's just, absolutely beautiful. And so are his sunrises and sunsets, against the water. It's just phenomenal. Very relaxing. brings a lot of tranquility and peace. But then again, you guys know I love water. You know, I get my best and clearest information when I am immersed in water, when I'm swimming, or even when I'm showering. I'm like, just, I don't know, there's something about water that helps me get real clear information from the ether or from our consciousness or mind that's around us, and we can pull it in. It helps me a lot. But that's me. Other people, it's different things. It's different. You making dinner? I barbecued some burgers and had some onion rings when I texted you earlier and said, oh, I guess they're not going to do the sing along then. Okay, I guess I'll go live. And then I said, it's going to be a little bit. And then I went and fixed something to eat. And now we're here. What are you fixing? What you making? What do you got? I told you what I had. But it's really cool though. YOLO eggs that, pink represents love and acceptance. Yeah. For me, when I see greens to me, especially in people's aura fields, that to me represents that love field. Blues is clarity of dynamics of speech. Purple's your crown. Yellows is your intuition. We're all walking rainbows. My goodness gracious, every color is so important. Every color, it's like we need to use every crayon in our crayon box. There's no wasted colors. There's no wasted space. There's no wasted being. There's no wasted you. You're made perfectly. It's just a matter of coming into the gnosis of who we are. And it just seems like that's the timing that we're in. We can see by the world stage the dynamics of the chaos seems to be ramping up. It seems so inverted. I don't know how many else have noticed it. It's like we're in cartoon land. It's backwards. Everything is backwards. Where you think it should be one way, and it's opposite. Everything is just really odd. But how is it affecting you in your personal life? Are you seeing, otherwise, other than the television or online, do you see it in your personal life? What's your walk like at home? And that's kind of how I gauge what's going on in, where am I walking? What's, in my physical through those 5 gates, which are left open through that last video I did. That's what like red flags, because ear gates, eye gates, even our mouth gate, touch, our 5 senses, those gates, there are gates. Those are ours. And that's another thing I want to express. When we talk about the gates in that video, those are your gates, your precious gates. And you have the right to protect them. And you're the one with the keys to them. You're the one that will open up that gate and allow whatever to come in or whatever to go out. You're the one that has the power and authority over that. And when somebody's trying to usurp that from you, I'm going to raise a flag. And I'm going to say, hey, I see a problem. I see a problem. And that's why I made the other one about the, discernment. Because, especially if you're going to go into hypnotherapy and, the psychology and the healing modalities, they bring you back to consciousness. Excuse me, fully awake and aware of your surroundings. If they do not, you need to go to another one and let them pull you into full awareness, because just because one puts you under doesn't mean you're stuck that way, because another can pull you right out of there. Because you have to guard those 5 gates. That's your outer shield. And you need to make sure that your outer shield is protected and that you are the one in charge of those gates. As a matter of fact, if that happened to anybody in this room, I'm telling you right now to come back to full conscious awareness. You are very aware of all of your surroundings. You are interacting with all your surroundings at this very moment, and nothing is impeding or encroaching your space, for your five senses are in your charge, and there's nothing able to get to your subconscious unless you yourself give it permission. You're now interacting with your awareness intact and consciously now absorbing in the carnality and making your own determinations. It's that simple, you guys. And any hypnotherapist will pull you up into your awareness. When we hear about people that have like Munchausen's, or have they have been in captivity, or oh my God, I mean, they just start blindly following in obedience. And you're like, why could they not see? Why could they not understand? You have to understand, when you start to mess with somebody's mind, when you start to mess with their subconscious, you start meddling around in there, you could do a lot of damage to another divine sovereign. And bringing them back through love, nurturing, and snapping them out of it into reality and letting them encounter this place. It's almost like a child again, re-engaging, depending on how long they were in such situations. So, be patient with people that come out of situations like that, because it's very difficult on them. And it's also very difficult to realize that you allowed yourself to be so subjected and fall for it. Because when you become aware, sometimes they'll show them videos of themselves and they'll be like, I can't believe that. I mean, it's really hard. But when you're in the thick of it, you don't know any better. You don't comprehend that there's anything wrong with it, because everybody else around you is in the same situation. Their minds are being messed with just as bad as yours. I think that's what they call a cult. Cult actually means hidden teachings. But cult can also mean, they're hiding something from you, which is they are messing with your mind. So, and your mind is a precious thing, and you should have full control of it. Thank you very much, Awake. Yeah, rest well. It is essential. Yes. You're probably going to fall asleep listening. I'm way behind. I'm listening. You know what? Rest and like I say, this is my mantra. If you're hungry, eat. If you're tired, sleep. If you're awake, get busy. Let your body tell you what you need to do. Don't try and comply or please anything outside of here. Anything outside of here is exactly that. It's outside. Let here be the thing that monitors whether, if you're tired, sleep. If you're hungry, eat. We are perfectly designed. Perfectly designed. I mean, we can go back to the empire thing where we had a pyramid, we had the 4 food groups, we've had, and all of these different ways that we're supposed to be eating. And now, peanuts are supposedly a grain instead of a protein. And I mean, everything like changes places and positions in this pyramid. And what? If you don't know, then stop making laws, legislations, and determinations and decisions, especially over our children when they're in school, on what they should eat, on what's a balanced meal, when you have no freaking clue. I'm sorry. I take issue with that. So, and even children's bodies will crave what it is that they are needing in it to keep it healthy. And I know that sugars and sweets and stuff like that are very tempting, and kids will abuse that stuff. Well, of course, that is what a good parent does, is make sure that our children look at sweets and find that in fruit, rather than candy. But, it's just, It's just, overreaching and making those determinations based on their own perceptions, and then making choices for other people without even having any experience or perspective on said situation. That drives me nuts. Okay, looks like nobody's wanting to come on with, and how long have I been on here? Almost an hour, and nobody wants to talk to Michelle. Oh, oh, I feel so bad. Nobody loves me. Let me see. What's that? I'm trying to see how long. 51 minutes. Okay, I'll give it nine more minutes and see if somebody wants to pop in. I can't believe there's 9 of you guys up this late nighters on weeknight. I know why I'm up late, because our weather has shifted, and I'll stay up at night when it's cooler, and sleep during the daytime in the air conditioning, and then I'll swim in the morning when it's pretty cool still outside, not too hot, and then go to bed. But that's just part of what happens to me in the summertime. How do we join? I'm aware of modern trends. How do we join? It's at the top. I put the stream. It's pinned at the top. It should be blue on top of the chat, on the top of the chat bar, and then you just click it. It's not late, it's early. How you doing, Rick Swain? Where are you at? Depends. It's 1:09 here in the AM, here on the Pacific Standard Time on the West Coast. Oh, yeah, StreamYard. Yes. I'm in StreamYard. Yes. Just like Spirit uses StreamYard. I'm getting an account, announced that enough. If you're looking for that channel, if you that chat lyric song that I posted, oh my gosh, Venus said the first like retract on our comments, because he's like, if he picks up his guitar, he's like, I think I'm just gonna sing out the chat. I'm like, uh-oh. But he did a really good job. It was so much fun, and like I said, he plays games over there, but he puts on Name That Song stuff, and very interactive, and it's open format over there, and very colorful, very diverse, very nice people. There's always going to be, that when you deal with the public, you deal with the public. But overall, it's been really, it's amazing over there. He's been over here. He's been on the chat stream, on the panel with me before, and yeah, he's pretty amazing person, and his streams reflect that. Reflect his personality. It's a lot of fun. But I'm telling you, they're power streamers over there. You win, man. Hands down, you win. You'll be lucky to keep me going for another 5 minutes if somebody doesn't jump on with me and give my chatterbox a relief. I like to listen too, because I glean and grow from everybody. I need another soda pop. Uh-oh, I see eyeballs. You just watching. Yeah, I've been just observing your streams these last few times, but a lot of times I pop in. I pop in, pop out, pop in, pop out. It's pretty easy for me to go. And sometimes we fall out. Or did he kick us out? Food for thought. One never knows, because one never knows where spirit is. Spirit's like the wind. It comes from one direction, blows to another, and we never know where it comes from or where it's going to go. So if you accidentally fall out, spirit may have just booted us. But he's one of those that can play it off innocent really well. Because he's like, I don't know where they went. Maybe they'll be back. No, I'm kidding. No, he doesn't. He's not that type of person. He doesn't kick people out. I'm razzing. Come on. Anybody? I'm gonna take off. I'm going off camera. Now you can't see me. Oh, and finally somebody decides to join me. Oh, and finally somebody decides to. I muted you so you can mute your what do you call it? YouTube. Mute YouTube. Now you're unmuted again. Are you there, Fox?
Yeah, I think I'm here.
You're there.
Does anyone hear me?
Mm-hmm. I can hear you, so they can hear you. How are you doing?
There we go. Okay, I got the background music off. I'm doing fine. Ain't got too much to talk about, but I got into clicking stuff. So apparently I'm on StreamYard. I don't have an account or nothing, but here I am.
Well, you don't have to. That's the beauty of StreamYard.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, when we put the link out there, it's the invitation into our yard, and all you have to do is type your whatever your name is, and if you want to put an icon in there, you put it in there, and then enter on in.
Heck yeah.
It's like that at Spirit's place too.
And I have an OBS. I could actually put something together.
Yeah, you can run your OBS camera or whatever you want to run through OBS through StreamYard. It's pretty cool. I learned that from Navy Nuke.
There it is.
Yeah. So yeah, you're pretty techie savvy.
Where is it? Well, I'm trying. I used to be very tech savvy, and then kind of lost everything and haven't even been online for 5 years or so. Now I'm back.
Really? You took a 5-year siesta? And what did you accomplish in the 5 years? A lot? I mean, that's a long time to just unplug. It really is.
I accomplished a whole lot, mentally and spiritually.
That's
But, I mean, materially, or as far as society goes, nothing.
I don't care about that. I'm talking about what you just said that you...
Oh, yeah, I have grown a lot spiritually because of the journeys I've been through the last few years.
I'm all ears. I'm sorry. I'm just going to listen.
I'm not much of a talker, so I'm not good. I'm not good unless I'm getting prompted.
I'll ask questions, and in the first year, let's start from the beginning. What made you decide that you'd had enough of the media, the YouTube, the online stuff? What was it that you're like, I'm walking away?
Oh, what made me? Oh, actually, it wasn't by choice. I had just started my channel, and I was learning how to video edit using green screen and getting into my creative abilities. But it was against my will that I got cut off because I lost the place I was at, got kicked out, lost everything. And for years, I was basically a vagrant, just traveling around place to place with a backpack.
Wow. Off grid then.
Oh, yeah. And heck, recently I have learned a lot about what bushcraft and prepping and homesteading and things like that. So that's helped me out a lot.
And Can you elaborate a little bit more on each of those and what each of those mean?
Oh, well, I have done a whole lot of travel. When I was younger, I had been to a few other states, but recently I've been walking, hitchhiking, or riding Greyhound. I've been to Wyoming, South Carolina, Oklahoma, a lot of different adventures. Most of the time, sleeping outdoors. I've had to forage for food, so I'm glad I was into that when I started my YouTube channel. I learned about picking mushrooms and other things like bushcraft stuff,
Okay.
and good thing I did. It helped me walk hundreds of miles, and then with the greyhounds and everything, I've done a few thousand miles recently.
Wow. So are you homesteaded? Are you in a home now, or are you still off
Oh
grid?
God, no! I'm I'm in a place that I really don't need to be. Um, but I have a roof. I won't starve, and I have the internet for now. That's about all I got. I got nothing else unless I mentioned those three things. That's all I got.
Okay, but how do you feel about that? Like, do you feel that that's a little more now, since you've been out for so long? Do you feel a little more like that's restraining you a little bit, or do you feel safe? Or what's your what's your thoughts on that?
Oh, well, there's ups and downs. Being so far outside and disconnected from the normie society uh, is very good for me in a lot of ways. Because back when I was very much in society, surrounded by it, trying to do all those things that people have to do, um, it caused me a lot of mental stress, and I have panic attacks and whatever. Plus, it made me more grouchy and more of an asshole. See, that's a big thing. I was just more of grouchy and an asshole because I was in society all the time. Now I'm not.
Right. Right. So yeah, because they spread you thin. I mean,
Yeah.
you got to worry about going to work, paying your bills, this, that. Check your
Yeah.
mail, make sure everything's on time. Grocery shop, cook, clean, take care of kids. Oh yeah.
The bad part is I have nothing going for me as, you know, to get a job, and I have no connections, no network, no friends. I got a lot of stuff online, but in real life, I got nothing, no friends or any. I got a couple of friends, but they're normies. I've known them since high school. They're really good. We're always honest. We'll be there for each other, but they don't know nothing about nothing that we talk about online.
Right. There's not many people that will have a lot of people in their physical day to day life that will understand a lot of the concepts that you may understand.
That is so true.
But that's not a good or bad thing. It's just, but they can also offer some opportunity if you're wanting to be more stable, then they could offer maybe some
I wish.
job opportunities
Oh,
or
God, I wish. Yeah, I wish. The only people in my life who actually give a crap about me, there are people who care about me, a few, but the only people in my life that give two craps about me, none of them have any means of like helping me out with that. They can't. They would if they could, but they can't. Anyone who can actually help me doesn't give a crap.
well, that's an identity crisis that they have within because they don't understand that if they take out of the right pocket and put it into your pocket, it's the same as taking out of their right pocket and putting it into their left pocket.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with my friends. Like, if he could get me a job, he would, but he literally can't.
Right. I'm not talking about the ones that are there for you but don't have. I'm talking about the haves that are saying no. They don't understand the concept of the unity and diversity, the oneness that we all are. If you take out of your right pocket, you're actually, and you give to another, you're just putting it right back into your own pocket, just on the left side. So yeah, they're just not understanding that concept yet.
Yeah, I think, mostly and honestly, I know from their perspective, it's true from their perspective that I'm not worth the time. I'm really not worth the time. They don't got to spend 2 minutes with me. There are plenty of other people that have all the stuff they're looking for anyways. They don't got to waste no time with me. There's a lot of other people who will take all the jobs and such.
Well, I am sure that if you make the determination that it is that you want to be gainfully employed, that it will happen for you. Let me say hi to some people in the chat. What's going on, Peg and Spirit and Inner Knowing? And Peg, you can always come in and sing here. You're welcome. There was supposed to be a singing stream tonight. I was notified of that underneath of a video that I posted of him singing out the chat, which is hilarious. You guys, you have to watch it. I can't say that enough. And his channel and Spirit's channel are in the description box. But there was supposed to be a sing stream tonight, and so that's why I waited until I heard back from Spirit. It's like, no, I think it's going to be put off till tomorrow night. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I came on live. So, but you're welcome up here, and it's in the same spot like it would be on Spirit's Pug and Spirit and Inner Knowing, and yeah.
I finally found a picture. Yay.
A Lego fox. That's cool. So when you were, okay, so you unplugged 5 years, and how long ago was it that you came back online? Just recently?
Yeah, a couple weeks, I guess. Thanks to Mr. Forgets a Lot, President Forgets a Lot. He sent me a check.
Oh, a stimulus or whatever it was called.
Yeah, my income is literally zero. I do not pay for my phone. I do not pay for anything because I have literally zero income.
Yeah. But you managed to live, right? You're still alive. You went 5 years and you traveled all over the place. You learned how to forage. You learned how to feed yourself. You slept under the stars, and you're still alive.
If there was no such thing as trespassing, I wouldn't have the problems I have.
Yeah, I've been looking into that, and that the trespassing on public property. I know
the government. Every square foot is owned. There's not a single square foot of land that is not someone saying they own it. That's the problem.
Well, because this is a corporation now. This is not a country. Once we get that understanding and pull it back to being a country instead of a corporation, and get off of maritime law and get back on common law, which is land law of land, things should go. It's like that's why everything's like so. That's what I was saying earlier. We are in inverted land. Everything is backwards. It's just everything is backwards. I don't know how we got here. It's like we walked through a looking glass and walked into a complete inversion.
Oh yeah, and I kind of agree with people that are seeing two worlds happening at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Two paradigms, toggling back and forth. It's strange. It really is strange to do. I just did a very minor research on the court system and saw that it was under British maritime law. Why are we practicing British maritime law in the courtroom? I don't understand that. We're not lost at sea here, people. Maritime is lost at sea. That's for, product that's being shipped in and out from oceans, and then you pay the taxes and tolls when you get to the ports, right?
Yeah. And having to be certified in
Night
all
bug.
kinds of ways is always a gravel. No certification is really justified of any kind. And speaking of lawyers, their bar. The B stands for British. What the heck is up with that? This is America, not British.
Yeah, it's just it's just a fundamental understanding. Now, do I think that every attorney is bad? Heck no. Do I think what I think is unfair for anybody who even goes into and gets educated to practice law? They don't take laws off the books. They keep adding more and more and more. The law library that these poor people have to try to memorize in order to do a proper job, if they, let's say they're a defense attorney, is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's worse than, we looked at the encyclopedias when we were kids and we're like, how can we memorize all that? Well, you should look at a law library. I mean, it's just obscene. So I don't think attorneys as a person, as a practice, I think they're doing the best they can with what they are able to do to get people out of these situations.
Oh, maybe. When I think about attorneys, when I see an attorney actually do his job, he seems to have no conscience at all, not good or bad. It's just simply they get in the game and try to win. Get in the game and try to win, doing their things by the rules. It's weird.
Well, an attorney actually isn't that what you want?
But I guess
you want them to go in there and not have a judgment. That's what the jury's for, right?
Oh,
You
that's
want your
true.
attorney to go in there and do everything that they know that's within their power to give you the best defense that they can supply you with. That would be an attorney I would hire. I'm honestly, if I'm going to go in there and my attorney's going to judge me, I'm going to be critical of that attorney. I'll go find another one. Right?
I just try to avoid the courtroom altogether.
That's the best practice.
What? Now, yeah, certainly, because any human being's got the capabilities. Yeah, there can be lawyers that are actually good people, good individuals.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like the whole idea of lawyering because, they're speaking for you when you're right there. And the whole reason why we even need them, or we basically need them, is because they set up this whole confusing bullshit game that no one can understand unless you hire these specialty people.
And even like what I was saying, oh yeah, I turned one of my lights off. I'm sorry, you guys, because it's hot. Oh, now I turned them all off. My bad. Here, there we go. I fixed it. Okay, like I was talking about, if you look at a law library, how would you expect for somebody to have everything, remembered verbatim? Now, what they're going to do is they're going to come in, you're going to tell them what your case is. Now they'll look up and they will get down how they're going to take care of you. But we can't blame the lawyers for going in and doing their jobs. We, as the people, should have been aware when the system flipped. We should have been aware when we walked in a courtroom and there's a gold fringe on a flag that that's not American. That's not the American flag. That is maritime law. We should be observant enough to know what is going on. Now,
I think where your people went wrong was when they started listening to people that they never even met in their life. Hundreds of miles away or a couple thousand miles away. As soon as we started letting people who are not even part of our world make decisions for us, that's the problem.
That's where I started this with about how empires fall and how how can people make any kind of a choice, determination through their perception on situations that they've never had any experience in, make laws, rules, and regulations against like a homeless person, and try to, and put laws on them when they themselves have never experienced said event to have any type of knowledge to even gauge it off of. You shouldn't have the right to do that. You should, if you have no experience in it, you shouldn't be making laws and regulations against something you know nothing about.
Yeah,
That's how this stream started.
that's very true too. Good point.
But that's how they fall, though. That's how, because power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And then these empires eventually crumble of their own weight because people the government ends up being so out of touch with the people. The people then pull their power back onto themselves, and it just collapses of its own weight.
And I think it's crazy how the legislators that are elected don't even write the laws anymore. They just take the papers from their crew or their team and they vote on it.
Lobbyists and stuff, or something will be proposed, and then another senator say, okay, I'll approve that, but it's got to have this in it too, and this. And then by the time you'll start off with maybe a 100-page docket proposal, and then by the time it's done, it's 2,500 pages before anybody would even stand behind it and pass it, right? So then who's going to go home and read? You got one day to read this finished 2,500 page and understand, and then go in the next day and vote on it.
Yeah, it's not possible if they even wanted to.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And then people will blame like the president that's the sitting president now, but they don't understand that the laws that were passed were actually from like maybe 2 presidents ago that are just now getting imposed. That's why I'm saying it will collapse of its own weight. It'll just.
It already is, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, back to because I'm really interested on your. Oops, I'm the wrong one. That you said that you had some spiritual growth and some inner knowing growth happened within the 5-year period of being offline. So, what happened in that aspect?
Well, let me make one quick note about lawmaking, because I thought of it. Mm-hmm. You remember those these videos we got of all the local media stations repeating the same thing in all these places trying to be local? Lawmaking, they do the same thing. A lot of local things that are going in across the nation, a very similar or sometimes word for word law is going through local places all over the country at the same time period.
Interesting. And yeah, it's like, oh, and you don't think that we know that you guys are all connected.
Yeah. But okay, now is my audio good? You seem to hear me okay.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Mm-hmm. All right, what was your questions?
I just wanted to know, because you said that spiritually, by being unplugged and stuff, that you had developed quite a bit. I just want you to expand a little bit, and then I'm probably going to zip this up after we finish up with that.
Yeah, getting exposed to more people in different areas around the country. Of course, that helped out, seeing new places and everything. But one big help was being back connected to nature a whole lot more, like I hadn't been since I was a kid. That was a big part of my growth. And like, this isn't the only time, like every 5 years, like when I was 20 and when I was 25, I'm different people. Then when I was 30, I was a different person from them. 35, I'm a different person. I mean, there's some core things that never ever change, but good Lord, I would like smack my former self. I've changed so much. And every time I think I've hit the level, I don't know, maybe in a few years there'll be another.
Well, isn't like infinite and eternal and limitless part of the dialogue of truth here? That
Oh,
we
absolutely.
should grow and expand and learn and glean and keep moving forward.
Absolutely. And not only in the life you're on now, you'll have more.
That's right. That's right. Because there's so much more, than just the third density, carnality, physicality that we deal with in the here and now. There's so much more. There's so much more to each of us.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, I just think that was pretty fascinating that you unplugged for 5 years.
Oh, and having a lot of time with just nature and God, that also gave me time to meditate and think on, because I'm experiencing all kinds of things. It'd be a bright, beautiful day, or it could be a cold, rainy, oh my God, I don't have any dry clothes, or my tent's washing down the hill. It goes from good to bad. I'm experiencing all this stuff. God is talking to me. We're always meditating. And this time, was great because I had learned all this stuff throughout my life, including different religious paths. got pretty into 5 or 6 different ones, but I never had the time to assimilate them together, find the connections. And now I have.
And what do you think?
Well, it's great because, I realized even when I used to be stuck on dogma, but now I realize how really dumb a lot of dogma is. And I also used to get mad at other people for using the wrong words of something. But now I realize, like, the word you're using doesn't freaking matter. It's the ideas and concepts going on.
Labels, yeah. Because people will call certain things by a certain thing, but they're meaning the same thing that you're talking about. But then people will argue. They're like, no, it's called this. No, it's called that. Yeah. And you're like, no, we're talking about the same thing.
So I guess what it taught me is that if you learn multiple paths and look at them all, you'll gain way more understanding of what it's all about.
Very nice. Well, I want to thank you for your bravery for coming up here. And nobody else did, but I'm going to tell you, go to Spirits because everybody jumps on over there because it's a lot of fun.
Well, it's because you're so nice and sweet. See, I am really an introvert. I don't like to talk, but this has been great. And before I came on, when I said thank you very much, Awake, because you did this thing, and I felt it. I felt it through the ether. It was like, wow. So when you said you needed someone on, I said, well, I got to click the button and not leave her hanging. So you're welcome, and thank you.
You're so sweet. Well, thank you for coming on. And you guys remember, though, that the power is within us. Guard all of your gates. When you see those premieres and you see what I'm talking about on the gates, you'll understand more what that means. You have the keys to them. You are the one that allows whatever comes through those gates. Know how amazing you are. You're just beautiful, amazing people. And I am going to go ahead and shut her down. Do you have any final words for anybody?
Well, I have always typed it. I've been typing it for a few years now, so I guess I had to say it in my voice. Love and gravy to all.
Love and gravy to all. And on that, you guys always share what you know and listen so we can grow. Peace. Talk to you soon.